Dragon Ball Super episode 55 is now officially in the history books, and today guys we're going to go on ahead and share our predictions together as to what may or may not occur during Dragon Ball Super episode 66. Now bear in mind everybody, you may not be a good prognosticator on this. That's why predictions are made to be right or wrong. So share your thoughts down below as to what you guys feel is going to happen in the upcoming episode. Now according to the translations by Herms, it seems as if, and again guys, spoiler alert, it seems as if Goku is going to unleash a life-risking attack in order to break the ring of light that surrounds Zamasu. Now that's very interesting to know because we're all wondering to ourselves as to what exactly this life-risking attack is going to be. Now again, a part of being a prognosticator is the fact that sometimes you are right and sometimes you are wrong. So sometimes people want to assume the best or the worst case scenarios, and in this case I do think that if Goku were to unleash some sort of a life-risking attack, the one thing that strikes me as very intriguing is the Kaioken. Now the Kaioken was seen during the Universal God of Destruction tournament battle against Hit, and Goku even noted himself that attempting to unleash the Kaioken while being in the Super Saiyan Blue form is very life-risking, and it actually could lead him to death because he never ever attempted to master that technique before. He was actually going to save it for Lord Beerus, and of course he used it against Hit instead. So the one thing that kind of sparks my interest here is the fact that Goku just very well might unleash Kaioken. Now is it a fact? No, it's not. However, we do think that, you know, going into next week's episode, having to think of anything and everything Goku can do that's going to risk his life, what exactly could that be? I mean, we know he's not going to blow himself up. We know that he's not going to use the Spirit Bomb. We know that he's not going to attempt something really outrageous as to trying to instant transmission him somewhere else, because really, where can you really go? But I do think that it might boil down to either Kaioken or something that's going to alter his body in the namesake of breaking the ring of light that surrounds Zamasu. How will it be done? I think it'll be Goku. How will Zamasu be defeated, however, is a totally different thing. So having to look at Goku's Kamehameha wave in episode 65, it seems as if it's going to be the Kamehameha wave, but is the Kamehameha wave going to be enough single-handedly to push back Zamasu's attack? Now, we do understand that Vegito is now officially confirmed, and he will be the one to fight off this evil ultimate final form merge Zamasu, as we saw in the episode preview, which tells me that despite what happens to Goku, he will be weakened during next week's episode. However, I think just as we all wanted to see, their final result is going to be that of fusion. So we're going to see fusion versus fusion here, which is something we've all wanted to see for such a very long ass time, and now that we finally have a confirmation that indeed Vegito is going to be a part of this fight and Vegito is going to knuckle up against merge Zamasu, judging based on the episode preview alone, we get to see how Vegito seems to be having the upper hand in essence. But I do think that next week's episode is going to boil down to Goku and Vegeta pretty much fusing during the middle of this episode. Now we also get to see that Vegito unleashes a ferocious final Kamehameha wave against Zamasu head on, and Zamasu doesn't seem to be injured by that. And even noting, Zamasu does seem to have somewhat of a purple hand, and that purple hand seems to be giving Zamasu the advantage here because he's trying to use that hand in killing Vegito off. Now how exactly will they fuse is unknown, whether or not Goku and or Vegeta request for that, or maybe even Gowasu approaches them saying, listen, take these earrings and put it on. I mean, it's your only chance at survival here is unknown, but we do get to see how, you know, Vegito is going to commence in being a part of this. And if you guys also pay attention as well, we get to see how the earrings that he's wearing is not green, but it's in fact yellow. So what I want to make a note here and say that I don't think that Gowasu is going to give, you know, Goku and Vegeta his earrings, but I do think it's going to be the Supreme Kai. We've been overlooking the Supreme Kai now for such a long time, and we've been wondering as to why he's truly there, but now we understand why. So my prediction is I think Goku's going to break Zamasu's Ring of Light in the beginning. He's obviously going to be weak. At this very point, we see how Vegeta is also in a very weakened state, so this puts both of them at a huge disadvantage going forward from here. But I think that despite them both being down and out and possibly even hurt and exhausted, I think the Supreme Kai is going to play his role here in giving them the earrings for them to fuse. Now, the question that's on everyone's mind is how exactly is Goku Vegeta's fusion going to fare up against this hybrid per se, because we also get to see how, you know, there's a part of Zamasu that's green, but there's also a part of Zamasu that's in a way purple-ish, and he looks very, you know, freakishly morbid in essence, so we don't really know what happened. It could have been Goku's Kamehameha wave that resulted in Zamasu's deformity, but we also get to see that Vegito, it seems to be pushing back Zamasu. So what I think is going to happen here, in an essence, is that since Zamasu is confirmed to be immortal in this body, I think that despite what anything Vegito does, I think that it's going to prove meaningless because Zamasu stands at the pinnacle of immortality. He took a head-on final Kamehameha wave to the face, and he lived to pretty much tell about it. So, and we get to see how Zamasu is trying to cut Vegito in half with his energy sword. So that pretty much just tells us that despite whatever it is that Vegito does, it's going to prove meaningless against such an opponent. So we may have to have the Mafuba jar be implemented in this by the usage of Trunks, because Trunks does know the Mafuba. So if Vegito can get, you know, Zamasu, you know, to the point where he got him off guard or something, maybe Trunks can use the Mafuba to seal Zamasu away. And I do think that at the end of the day, that might be our only way out, because if Vegito can't really put a dent into this dude, despite how strong he truly is, because we get to see Vegito whooping ass, especially going forward. We get to see how Vegito had his hand on Zamasu's face down onto the ground, and even as he had his hand onto his face, we saw how something came out of Zamasu's eye, some sort of like an energy attack or something to push, you know, Vegito away from him. So I do think that either A, Zamasu becomes enraged by what he sees and what he feels coming out of Vegito, especially with his energy being different, so he either forces himself to transform, because he looks very freaky. You know, just having a look at a part of him, half of him just looks morbidly disgusting and the other half is just really pretty much basic. And so you have to ask yourself, like, how did this even happen? You know, like, at what extent did this fight reach to where Zamasu is just completely different when it comes to appearance? But we also get to see Vegito now is more aggressive than ever before. We see how Vegito is the one who's on the hunt, and that right there just gives me a sign of hope, because we all thought that Vegito would somewhat toy around with Zamasu, but not when he's immortal, because it is confirmed that Zamasu is immortal. So my prediction is during the early beginnings, I think that ever since the ring breaks behind Zamasu, that's going to force him to pretty much, you know, lose control of part of his body, and it's going to cause him to morbidly transform, thus forcing Goku and Vegeta to fuse, because I think that both of them are going to get their asses kicked pretty bad, so they're going to have no other option but to do that. But let me know down below, how exactly do you guys believe Vegito is going to be introduced? Are Goku and Vegeta going to get pushed back? Are either Goku and or Vegeta going to introduce the idea of fusion, or is the Supreme Kai and Gowasu going to convince them? Because I really doubt that at this point they really want to work together. So I think that maybe the Supreme Kai is going to offer, or at least, you know, Gowasu telling them or offering them a chance of survival here, because I think that during any sort of circumstance here, there is no way out of this. Like, there is no way out of fighting Zamasu's fusion. So at the end of the day, despite how strong Vegito actually is, I think that Vegito himself realizes that Zamasu is immortal, so despite what he may do, it's going to have little to no effect, as seen with the final Kamehameha wave being taken straight to the face, head on by Zamasu. Zamasu didn't even flinch, and we see him emerge from the rubble as Vegito uses instant transmission to catch up with him. So I think that in terms of battle power, Vegito may be stronger, but at the end of the day, you know, Zamasu's immortal, so you can't kill an immortal head-on with just fists and kicks, because he's going to take all of that and he's going to run with it. So how exactly do you defeat him? I think that Trunks and Mai are definitely going to be a credible factor in this, because without Trunks and Mai, and possibly even Bulma and everyone else, I think that our characters are doomed. So I think that it's ultimately going to boil down to Trunks helping, Mai helping, because again, despite how strong Vegito may be, how in the world are you ever supposed to go up against someone who just can't die? So let me know down in the comment section below, what are your overall expectations going into next week's episode, and how strong is Vegito going to be going up against this mutated Zamasu? Like, whatever he is, he looks freaky, guys. Again, I will be doing the live stream right after, so you guys might want to go on ahead and join me on this awesome edition, because we're going to be talking Dragon Ball live with one another, so that's going to be pretty cool to see. Again, guys, it's going to be an epic episode next week. I want to know your full thoughts on the whole situation. I want to know if you guys think Vegito stands a chance, if you guys believe that Zamasu is possibly stronger than him. I want to know everything you guys are feeling down in the comment section below. Thank you all for watching. Again, if you guys are new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe for more awesome daily content, more Dragon Ball content as well, guys. Tune in for the live stream, and I'll be seeing you all down in the comment section below. Take it easy, guys. Peace!